Welcome to another EBX discussion. And I know you're doing great, because if you're alive and breathing, we are back to fight another day. And I always got to give honor to our ancestors, our soldiers and soldierettes, salute, that went through the fire to get a lot of us in the state that we are in. And thank those for coming in to another beautiful day. And I give honor. Remember, our family, my family, your family, anybody that passed that we held dear, may they rest in peace and in power. And I place that gold all over all of our families, that we prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And I like to do that. Honor thy mother, honor thy father, honor thy brother, honor thy sister. And I always like to remember my ancestors. I always like to think of those that has transitioned and passed on, because I don't want their spirit to be forgotten. Because guess what, folks? We don't want to be forgotten either. You know, we want to leave a legacy. We want to leave something, leave a footprint, leave an impact. Let those know when you leave this place that you tried your best to leave it in a better state that it was and when you was here. It all starts with ourselves. And I'm gonna tell you, folks, self-awareness, as I say all the time, is the freaking best education. And when one is on a different wavelength, you will become unbothered. One will become unbothered. And how will you know you're on a different wavelength, my brothers and sisters? Well, for one, person, place, or thing, you know, a lot of things, until you become really, truly self-aware, you'll understand why different things happen the way they happen. Because you go through a lot of levels when you truly become super duper self-aware. But being unbothered, study and practice being unbothered. Always study our feelings, folks. Always study our feelings. Never take anything personal, because taking things personal is a cousin of hate. And one thing we don't want in our system is hate, fear, discomfort, doubt, discouragement. Never let any of those things get into your system. You be strong. You be a strong soldier and soldierette. Salute, and you keep forging forward, especially if you're on a righteous walk and you got good things and great things that you just ready to manifest and show anybody willing to overstand you and understand you and be with you on this walk. And I always say keep a family spirit no matter what. Always analyze things. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You'll thank yourself later for not giving in to maybe something that tried to set you off or make you feel some kind of way. That's why you hear me say study a lot. It will save you a lot of heartache, and you will dodge a lot of negative bullets. Just come in tune with oneself and just realize that some of us are just on a different wavelength. Some of us wake up soon, some of us wake up later. Some never wake up, or if they do, it's too late. And I'm fortunate that I have reached, somewhat of a success state, in one's mind, as my son has, a lot of brothers and sisters I've connected with, people in my family. Not everybody's going to be there. And that's one thing we always got to keep in mind. You give a person some knowledge, you help someone, you encourage them. That's the best we can do. Because what's the one thing we got to do, ladies and gentlemen? We got to help ourselves if we're able to. Because I always got to reiterate. The world don't give a fuck how you feel. So you got to you got to study your emotions. We got to conquer those emotions. And once we conquer our emotions, we can conquer anything. And all it takes is one result. One result will lead to another and another and another. You will find yourself looking for solutions for everything. And those solutions might come right away, might take a minute, sometimes might take a little critiquing, a little studying, a little patience, a a little humbleness, maybe some humiliation in life. When you can be able to endure these things and come through with a smile on your face, brothers and sisters, you are on another wavelength, and you have stepped into being unbothered. It's like breathing air. If you know you're right, you just keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. Whatever righteous walk that you are on, because we are all on different paths. We should never compete with one another. We should never look at each other's status. We look at each other's heart. Even if we do make mistakes along the way, if a brother and sister got that right within, they'll be humble enough to go back and talk to that brother and sister if the mistake was with another individual, whether brother or sister, or just a mistake in general. Those that are willing to be humble and step back and say, hey, I was wrong, that's the best brother and sister that you can ever converse with or connect with, because they truly understand, human life and keeping and looking at the bigger picture. Because that's one thing we can never get away from, brothers and sisters. There's always a greater things at stake outside of us. We can never get trapped in little, small, insignificant, petty bullshit. Always focus on the bigger picture, the things that are more important. That's something you hear me talk about a lot. And what is more important, folks? Paying attention to our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, and what else? Our children, our family, much things as we can stay connected to righteously. Because I know this is a busy ass world, and we can be very busy, with jobs and school and all these things coming at us and a million things in our brain. That's why we should always take those moments, those quiet moments, to ourselves. I don't care if it's just a few minutes, an hour, 2 hours, because we have to collect those thoughts. Because the one main reason, well, it's a lot of reasons why you always should take those little pockets of solitude, because I look at solitude a little different. And I know, and especially if you want to stay at peace and you want to stay aware, and you do want to keep yourself being unbothered by unnecessary bullshit, and you want to maintain this new wavelength that we're on, yes, you are going to take those little pockets of solitude, because that's when you catch things because when you're working and you're busy, you're not thinking, or at least not about nothing profound or something that's deep in depth, if you know what I mean. So that's why it's good to take those little pockets of solitude, so you can catch things and you can remember things and step back and focus on things that are important, so you don't forget about things. Because unfortunately, with age, folks, as my cousin, he said, he kind of joked, they say when we get up in age, the mind is the first thing to go. And, but you have to be careful what you feed into and what you let into your system and what others say. You control your ship. You are the captain of your ship. You drive your vehicle. You give permission to allow what enters your ears, your eyes, your system, your soul, your spirit. You control that. You don't let nobody penetrate this spirit that you, me, all of us, brothers and sisters that's like-minded out here, that's been through the fucking fire. I'm serious. Let nothing penetrate what you have been building your whole life, our whole lives. Let nothing break that down. And if you feel any kind of crumbling, any kind of discouragement, you stop. You study. Never, ever give into a wrong emotion. And you will see yourself winning so many victories, brothers and sisters. It'll be so easy. Every situation you come into, it'll be nothing. You'll know what to do. But we have to stay within righteousness. We have to study a lot, and know that we're on a different wavelength than some people, person, place, or thing sometimes. But that doesn't mean we're better than them. It's just that we are self-aware. We know that our thinking is different than some individuals. That's just how that divine works. Everybody's an individual. Everybody's different. It's just that some people are not, appreciating their individuality. Some take individuality the wrong way. I look at individuality as being independent. You do your own thing, but you love those. You got a family spirit. You're not, you're staying original, authentic as much as we can possibly be. Because, it's a lot of things out here that can deter us. That's one thing we got to stay away from. Things that can deter us, like these little sneaky things on the internet, these little porn links that be on the internet, and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Or like I said once before, I don't even have a TikTok account. I'm barely on Facebook, probably once a month. And I barely do Instagram. I put music in my stories. If you like to hear my music, which I got some here right on my channel. I also got music that I post on my stories on Instagram. EBX, look me up on Instagram or SoundCloud or Rap Fame, EBX. And you're more than welcome to listen to my music. Go on. I'm not on there a lot, but I have an Instagram account, Facebook, and Twitter. But I don't do TikTok and, of course, YouTube. So ride with me, brothers and sisters. And I'll, if you want, I can check out, we can connect. I can go on your timeline and show you some love and support. I support anyone that's supporting me. And even if somebody hasn't supported me, I still support, because that's not what it's all about. Because remember, the greater, higher force, greater supreme being, this is something that will always center us, brothers and sisters. That higher force, the universe, has to say over all. And that universe, that greater creator, will let us know that we on a different wavelength. It will show up. It will show up in our life. It will show up in our thinking. It will show up in our actions. It will show up in our behavior. It will show up in our discipline. And it will show up in our love. It will radiate. It will show. Never worry about those that perceive you in some kind of way. Never. This is one thing that I'm telling you, if you learn nothing else from me, never, ever live by the expectations of others, especially if you true to heart and you mean well. Because remember, can't please everyone. Just keep that in your spirit. But always show love and invest in love and keep love. Never, ever let hate get into your system. It's very, very important. Because that's why you always hear me say do self-checks. And this is a spirit I picked up from Malcolm X. I listen to Malcolm X from time to time. And this is like the root of what's wrong with a lot of us black people. We harbor a lot of wrong things inside and don't deal with them. And they pop out. I have learned this on this walk. That's why you should know. We come into things, and remember, everybody's not aware. Everybody don't study. Everybody's not on that path that a lot of us are on. So that's why I say, know that you're just on a different wavelength. Not that you're better than nobody or that you know everything. It's just that, a lot of us, brothers and sisters, soldiers and soldierettes, salute. We are just in tune with ourselves. We love ourselves. And some individuals can't handle that. And they'll look at you and say, wow, how does that brother or how does that sister do it? How do they maintain their peace? Because we haven't come by this peace easy. We have figured out ways to maintain this peace because we look to search for knowledge. We look for ways. I've said this before, we can be our own psychologists. We have to take that time and study, go outside of ourselves. And I'm telling you, you will be amazed. Study things about the pineal gland, different things about the brain, the body. We are in the age of information. Plenty of things we can learn. You will be amazed. Be the greater part of yourself that you never thought you could be. It's in you, brothers and sisters. If you haven't already manifested it already, real talk, know that you are just on a different wavelength. And the reason why you're numb to things, not that you don't care about things or you don't want things to get better or you think other people are less than. It's nothing like that. It's just that we have finally reached that point where we are not bothered by stupid, petty, insignificant bullshit. Learn to be unbothered. Work on our feelings on the daily. Stay as pure as we can possibly be, because you never know when that attack will come. We can have an attack that'll come out of nowhere. That's why we should all stay rooted, all of us brothers and sisters. Man, just know we're on a different wavelength. That's just how that great force is working right now. I'm telling you, those that are connected to that spiritual realm are really seeing some beautiful, magnificent things right now. Things that I don't care how much knowledge we gain. And this is for those who got degrees or don't. We all have searched because like I said, we're in the age of information. I don't care how powerful we think we are, how much knowledge we think we have. We would never, I said this before too, we would never know the full extent and the glory and the power of that great universe. But we can keep striving. We can keep climbing. We can still get close to it. But we'll never reach that full power as long as we're in this human body. But we can almost get there. We can damn near get there. But we got to do things to maintain it, to stay balanced, to stay peaceful, to stay fearless. Because this walk is about good love, loving oneself, loving those that want to grow and want to stand with us and vibe with us. And those that don't, they will set themselves apart. The divine will deal with them. But always know that you are powerful and that you are in the position that you are in for a reason. The divine has all of us, reaches and teaches, powerful brothers and sisters out here, like-minded brothers and sisters. The position that we are in right now, that's the position that greater higher force wants us in. And that divine just sat back, and I always try to, we can never be parallel to that higher force, never, because that's, like I said, we'll never know the full glory and the full power of that higher supreme being, because we wouldn't be able to handle it. But I always like to sit back and just kind of imagine looking through the eyes of that greater higher force and sees what that force sees. And to that greater higher force, we are like little ants. That's what that force sees, little ants. And that's why I say we have to be humble, be grateful for this life. Because this life we live in is just a speck of dust. We can be blown away anytime. So that's why we have to take our self-awareness and this new righteous path that we're on and all these great things that we're experiencing. Don't take them for granted, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate every good, powerful thing that comes your way from this day forward. And know that when you come into things that don't overstand you and try to discourage you, just step back. Don't be taken back by it. Don't take it personal. Remember, we're on a different wavelength. We're going to come into things like that. That's expected on this walk. We have to expect challenges, because whenever you're stepping into something great, which is the greatness of yourself, negative forces are going to come. I wish they didn't. I wish I could say we will never have negative forces come at us, but we all know that that's not true. So that's why we study. That's why we do things to keep our boundaries strong. When I say boundaries, around our spirit, and sometimes around ourselves. It just depends on who we connected to. Because remember, folks, when you're righteous, you're usually connected to the righteous brothers and sisters, even if you don't know each other that well. In the end, the divine will connect the righteous to the righteous, because that universe is drawing that line right down the middle, and that force is separating the wrong from the right. And what's sad is what's a reality And some of us, no, not some now, because I'm connected to the right ones. Like I say, I know who the righteous brothers and sisters are, because I don't fuck around. You know, I take that divine serious, excuse my French. I know I'll be cussing and stuff, but I don't play when it comes to that higher force. And none of us should. And the reason why I'm so aggressive on things like that, because like I say, folks, we have been through too much. Always think of the things you have been through to get you to where you are. That's why one shouldn't play with that higher force. So I feel sorry for those that's not taking that higher supreme being serious. That's why I always magnify and give praise. We all should. And watch our life just explode like a what? A supernova. Because that's what we are. We're supernovas. Those that want the betterment, and want this world greater and better, and want those to be better. Because this world will never get better unless we do. It always starts with ourselves. Like Michael Jackson said, man in the mirror. That man in the mirror, that woman in the mirror, brother, sister, is your best leader and your best teacher. You know, because we can learn many things from on the outside and be inspired and things that keep us lifted and living. But what's the one thing that will keep us stable and have us where we would never, ever get off track? Is when we are truly true, not that fake shit, real with oneself, and we finally know that sometimes we're just on a different wavelength. And when we're on a different wavelength, brothers and sisters, and I'm sure a lot of brothers and sisters that are like-minded have experienced this, you know, you will become unbothered. You know, some things you just have to be unbothered by. Some things you just have to, whatever. You know, and stick to the bigger picture, folks. You know, always be connected to things that are important. Never get dragged away into stupid shit. Real talk. Stay as real as you can possibly be. And explore and expand the abilities that you have. We have great abilities within us, brothers and sisters. We have abilities that we haven't even manifested yet. Like I said, we are so much more powerful than we know. If we only knew, you know, that divine lets me know that every day. And I'm sure a lot of brothers and sisters out here, my family, you know, I'm sure that divine touches them too, because I'm connected to that divine. Anyone that's connected to that higher force, anyone that's connected to another brother or a sister that's connected to that higher force and serious and got it embedded into their soul, anyone they're connected to will be protected. And like I say, I don't believe, I know this, because I've seen the results of that higher force move, not just in my life, in other brothers and sisters' lives, and my family. Real talk. I have seen the evidence of that great power. So that's why I share it to you, brothers and sisters. Now, I'm not saying we're invincible and nothing can happen to us. But when you have a strong mind and you're working on your behavior, your thoughts, and you're trying to better yourself and others, great things will come about. And that's because we're on a different wavelength, brothers and sisters. And our heart is pure as it can possibly be. And our peace is stable because we have learned to what? We have learned to be unbothered. So stay stable out there. Stay strong. Never give up. Quitting is not even in our vocabulary. And remember, we're on a different wavelength. Remember that. You're powerful. Never forget that. And that's my thought. That's my real thought. It's my positive thought. And I give honor to your family, my family, Regis and teachers. Salute. I honor my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you have peace in your part of the world and have a great, great, strong one.